Consciousness is a single entity. We experience consciousness as individuals, but we choose to be individuals. The final choice that is necessary for a species to evolve, or is for us to learn what is our true nature. And our true nature is the nature of God. God is love. God is created from pure love. The force of dilatancy of a magnetic field at the center of the granular ethereal model that's described by Osborne Reynolds 1903 and demonstrated to be exactly correct by Ross Anderson's equations. But the mechanism of kinetic elasticity is so complex, but nonetheless derivable. There it is. And it creates time and temperature. That the temperature exists for a duration. In that duration, at the center of the expanding spheres is the sphere that's created from the elastic bodies. So see the sun plasma sphere with its 6 group piling, 2 of them pulling apart, creating the tear in the surface, creating the dot point of the sun back here to the center. These spheres are massive. Those grains, those surfaces that are created by the tiny grains, create spherical surfaces of expansion. But those expansion have a limit of each other. They rely on each other's bending moments in order to exist. They share the bending moments with their neighbors. At the center of that piling lies nothing, a negative space, the dilatancy zone, where the magnetic field, the magnetic density gets so fucking massive that there is a transform and a reversal, and that mass that's created by the light, the sheer size, the scale of the viscosity of the plasma membrane that surrounds us has a mass, and that mass is expressed at the center in a recursive cycle. So mass is added from the surface to the center inside our sun plasma sphere. The dilatancy zone now, this negative space, is the tesseract. Yeah? It's the tesseract space, and it's negative space. So inside there you now get the repetition, but you get the turbulent zone. The higher energy state is created from these 6 group piling, and you get the 6 group as flat as a flower of life when you look above it, because the bodies are now elastic, not rigid, and they press into each other to create a flower of life. Now that sets the scale of everything else now, that the 6 have now, lying on the equatorial plane, they've compressed together and they can't go any further. They've created the plum pudding, and that sets the scale of everything. Now at the center of that plum pudding, a sphere appears, another sphere appears at the center, and that's the sphere of mass, because it's been created, a rigid body is created from the elastic bodies because of the full transform through which the energy has gone. Now that full transform is fractal. Right? So the energy that we see is Mandelbrot's fractal nature, but that fractal nature requires a seed twist point, a half twist point seed at the center. It must be twisted, half turn, wind all the time. And then at each action of each moment, there is a bit more wind goes onto the half turn so that it's always existing. And it's the vis viva, the living force, Boltzmann's living force. As described by Victor Levy, an introduction to his 1906 physics dissertation tells you he's talking about the living force. Life. They've actually discovered the source of life, and they've fucking hidden it from us. And so that seed, that twist at the center, is at the center of the planet, at the center of the dilatancy zone, because you've got the sun plasma sphere, you've got the 6 group piling, you've got the tesseract dilatancy zone, you've got the flower of life elastic bodies creating a third entity, another rigid body inside. That rigid body is the rigid body of life. It's a viscous surface that's created. It exists at the center of the planet, and it pulses with a bright white light in a duration of Planck's constant h, creating that moment. The seed is a crystalline geometric construction. And I believe that it will take the Chestahedron shape as the missing platonic solid, the asymmetric platonic solid. It exists as the chip, the shard, the glass of light that sits at the center of the planet, around which develops a force field. So the glass dust that I talk about is when you grind surface tension through the whole of the sun, the dilatancy zone, water comes in, but water comes in turned inside out, and it's crystalline, snaps into a geometric construction, into a seed. And that seed will grow based on its geometric construction and continue to grow, provided that the energy is added. But there's a single geometric construction at the center of the planet, in that chip, that shard of light, that glass, because it's a heart. Look at the work of Frank Chester, and you see how you create a heart from a Chestahedron. Boom, 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 boom. So the planet herself is alive. The true nature of God is that the seed, the crystal, grows, described by Ross, a half-turn twist, the vis viva, Berger's equation, nailed into cosmology right now. And so we learn this, that there is one heartbeat. There is one expression of consciousness at the very surface of viscosity. Reach up, breathe that rich, rich air of intelligence, and we evolve. When we recognize that we are the creators of light. We are the creators as one. We are an ant's nest. We are a pride of lions. We are a family. We are a tribe. We are one. Christ is our king. Let's fucking go. Fade out.